Hi besties! Today I am in the mood to make some stuff. I have way too many projects going on at the same time, but I'm craving a new cast on. I thrive on chaos, we all know that. I have maxed out the storage space in my creative handspun, so I want to start a shawl using my handspun yarn so that I can fill up the crate again with more handspun yarn. Anyway, I also have a project bag to make for my crochet along prize, so maybe today is the day we can actually do that. I have all of the pieces cut out, I just need to sew it together. I might make one for me as well later. I mean, I need to keep my new cast on or something, so I might as well, right? But then you might be thinking, Shai, what is in the box? Let me tell you. Actually, let me show you. New toys for me! The wonderful people at Caydo reached out to me and wanted to send me some stuff for me to review and try out in a video in my crafting. So today we have an unboxing to do. So in this box we have fun stuff. This is an I-cord maker. It can make I-cords. Then we have a thread burner. And are you ready for this? I am super excited. My days of hand winding yarn on a lint roller core is finally over. We have an electric yarn winder. I will talk more about all of these as we set things up and work with them, but before we get into it, I want to let you know that if you like anything you see in this video, you can get 30% off your order if you go to this link and use the code to get your discount. I will also have a link. We have a cat. I will also have a link in the pinned comment and in the description for you to click if you want to. But yeah, I am super duper excited to open up these boxes and try out my new crafting tools. So let's get into some sewing and some knitting, shall we? I am raring to go. I want to get cracking with my sewing. I think we're going to start with the sewing, then we're going to get onto winding some yarn and starting a knit. So yeah, without further ado, let's do that. So since we're starting with sewing today, let's bring out the sewing machine. I had the pieces cut out already, so I just need to sew this bag together. And since it's just a project bag, it's all straight seams. Easy breezy, hopefully. After my first few seams, I am just too curious not to try the thread burner. So let's open her up and see what we got. We got instructions here at the top, very good. We'll definitely read these before using. This is the actual burner pan. It has a big button, which is what you click to heat the pan, and if we remove the cap, this is what the tip looks like. The bottom has a charger port and lights up with blue when you press the button. The pen comes with a charging cable, which is USB-C to USB-A. We also have a little brush for easy cleaning and one extra burner tip. So now let's try this and see how well it does with burning the threads. This is a tool you can use instead of using scissors when working with thread. You just touch the tip to the thread, press the button, and it will burn the thread right off pretty much instantly. Release the button straight away after a thread has been burned. I'm putting the cap back on to let it rest for a bit before continuing on with sewing my bag lining. If you're worried about the pen getting too hot, it will automatically shut off if it gets too hot. The lamp at the end will also light up in red instead of blue. But to keep it from getting too hot, let it cool between zaps for a few seconds and you'll be all good. Other than lining, I am also making what will become the drawstring channels, and with the lining and channels sewn together, it is time to burn some more threads. Zap zap! Literally so easy. And look at this result. So clean, other than me being unable to sew straight, but that's a me problem. Now let's sew the outer bag. And zap all those threads as well. The next step is sewing the bag together, so I'm flipping the lining right side out, placing it in the outer bag with right sides together, sandwiching my channels between the two, and then I sew around the bag, leaving a small opening to flip it all right side out. that's a bag. Now all it needs is some top stitching, and in that process, closing the opening I left in the previous step. And then of course, burning the threads. And look at that, so incredibly clean. I am impressed. Now we need to add some drawstrings to the bag, and I have just the right tool for the job, the I-cord knitting machine. So let's unbox and set it up, shall we? As we open the box up, we have the user manual. Again, I will make sure to read this before starting my work. We also have this hook with an eye in one end for threading the machine. In this second box we have, yarn! I wasn't expecting yarn. A little tube of extra pins for the machine. A little screwdriver, the power cord, again USB-C to USB-A, and lastly the weights, because for a knitting machine to work properly you need to weigh down your work. And lastly, we have the actual I-cord maker. And OMG, it's pink! It has a clamp at the bottom, which has a wing nut for fastening it to your table. And here in the cup-shaped top are the pins that you'll thread your yarn through. And it also has the brand's logo on the side here. So let's try it, shall we? Mr. Cheeseman is here to do the quality checks, and it looks like this machine is a little bit scary for him, so he'll observe from a distance. Alright, time to thread the I-cord maker. I start by threading it through the hole on the machine. Then, using the hook that came with it, I thread the yarn through the cup and through the machine and pull out a few inches of yarn. Then it's time to set up the pins. The first one hooks the yarn, and then we skip the second. Hook with the third, and skip the fourth. And here's where I got very confused and did something wrong, so we ended up having to restart. The issue was, I kept skipping pins. After the first step, which I did correctly, you're supposed to just let it catch the yarn with every pin by turning the dial at the back of the I-cord maker for one round. Then you can start the machine. So let's try this one more time. Oh, whoa, it works! Time to put the weights on the cord. I mean, how cool is this? It's actually knitting. I noticed you have to make it so that the yarn is loose and flows easily, or the machine will struggle. I also found it struggled a little with two weights, so I kept one weight on the I-cord. And it's not super loud either. I mean, it makes a noise, but this is not too bad at all in my opinion. To finish the I-cord, I simply cut the yarn and let the machine knit it all up. And that's an I-cord if I ever saw one. The end comes out like this, so you need to sew through all the loops with the end to actually seal it, or it will unravel. But yeah, one stretchy, squishy I-cord finished. I want to try this with a thinner yarn. I'm threading it with a thinner lavender cotton that will hopefully become the drawstrings for my project bag. And that worked like a charm. This time I also didn't mess up at the start, so yay. Hi. Hello. Let's get real close and personal. I want to check in because I have been having so much fun. We have an almost finished bag. We just need the drawstring, and we just made some drawstring as well. So yeah, we are gonna place the drawstring in the bag, and here it is. And here it also is. So I've made a couple of I-cords on my cute little I-cord maker, and I'm gonna pop it off the table so I can talk about it and hold it up. I know I probably said this in the voiceover, but it's pink. I love that it's pink. But this did the job. I have to say, it took me This is because I am slightly stupid sometimes. It took me about an hour to figure out how to get this to actually work, but once I did, I've had no problems. This was my first I-cord, and it's a bit ugly at the top because of said reason, me not quite figuring it out. There is a bunch of info with very big and bright and good pictures in the instruction leaflet, and there are also tutorials online. So it's this brain, it's not always computing, but we got it to work, and I have some I-cord and I'm really happy with them. It was kind of fun making them, not gonna lie. So yeah, you saw me make them on this, and now we are gonna place them. I made these with cotton and it's about a fingering weight, and this is acrylic, the acrylic that came with the machine. So I'm about to drawstring the drawstrings and put them in the project bag so that it's finished, and then we have a finished project, and then we can move on to caking up some yarn and starting a shawl, which I am super excited about doing. So yeah, let's get to, right? Let's get to. So yeah, let's thread these through the channels. I just sewed the ends together for 2 continuous loops, and that's a drawstring project bag all finished. Now it's time to open the yarn winder and cake some yarn. Yay! Here's my crate of handspun yarns. Let's pick out some yarns. This one, hand dyed by me. This one, also dyed by me. And this merino, which was not dyed by me. And I also kind of want to try to wind some thicker yarn. So in this box, we once again have the manual on the top. And then we have the paracord. Like the other two, it's a USB-C to USB-A cable. It also comes with a screwdriver and screws. This is the middle peg of the winder, the thing the yarn gets wound up around. Here is the leader arm for the winder, and lastly, this is the actual yarn winder. Let's assemble it. The leader arm slots into this hole on the front of the winder. It will make a click once it's in properly, and you can see this hole on the bottom. This is where the screws and screwdriver come into play. And then the middle peg slots in and locks in place when you turn it. It will also click into place, and just like the I-cord maker, you can clamp it to your desk. Then I thread the yarn through the hole at the bottom of the leader arm, behind this spring and plate, up through the hole on the top, under this spring and plate, then through one final hole on the leader arm before wedging it into the groove at the top of the peg. Then we can plug in the paracord and go. I used a compatible phone charger plug from my old phone, but do make sure to check you have a plug with the correct power capacity. And then, moment of truth, OMG, it's winding. It's doing the thing. This is so cool. It came out really neat, so now let me try with my handspun yarns. I'm setting up my Swift, and I'll start with the oldest of the skeins. This is half of the first ever order of wool I made when I started spinning, so I've had this one for years. I set it up the same way, and then we can start winding, and I found it struggled a little here, but I will not fault the yarn winder for the struggles. My Swift is old and wonky and doesn't turn super well. We did try and make it turn better in between the first and second yarn cake, but it's just rough like that. So I ended up pulling yarn from the Swift to help along the way, and then the automatic winder worked with the yarn very happily and made super neat cakes. I think I want to add a fourth yarn, so I am grabbing this pastel mini skein I spun last year. Let's see what a tiny ball of yarn will look like from the winder. For this one, I also wanted to see just how fast the yarn winder is able to go, and let me tell you, that's pretty dang fast. It took like 1.5 minutes to wind this mini cake, while a big 100-gram cake took about 5 minutes, but that was also not at top speed. And friends, that is a very nice little tiered cake, and it took like no time at all, and my hands are completely fine. Now let's start that shawl, shall we? But first, catch break! Okay, now let's start the shawl. I've picked out my needles and I will be starting with my mini skein, casting on my first few stitches and then working some ribbing. I love casting on shawls with few stitches. There are so many clever ways of starting one. This shawl I'm starting is going to be the Pierre shawl by Stephen West. I doubt I'll get very far because I have a game night with friends in a few minutes, but I just can't wait to start this. With about 15 rows done, I will pause this for now, but have no fear, Pierre will surely make an appearance in future videos. Now let's look at what we made today, excluding the shawl. Wow, so we got a lot done today, didn't we? And I have to say, these new toys, these new tools made a big difference in my workflow. Especially the yarn winder has made things a lot easier. If you've been around on my channel for a while, you know I've been using my trusty old lint roller core. Came out of one of these. I've used it forever to hand wind my yarn cakes, which usually takes anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes per cake. And it really hurts my hands, it really hurts my fingers and wrists. So this is a massive, massive upgrade for me. The I-cord maker was really fun too. Now I've got to figure out a bunch of fun projects I can make with I-cords other than drawstrings for project bags. I had actually never heard of thread burners before, so it was really interesting to get to try one. And I've got to be honest, I didn't quite see why one would need one at first. We have scissors, right? But after trying it, I do see the benefit of using one. I was able to get incredibly close to the fabric and burn the threads off, which leaves a seamless, no pun intended, super clean look. Plus, not gonna lie, it's kind of fun to click a button and go zap. So yeah, it will definitely get used a lot in my sewing in the future. I must say I am impressed with how well everything worked. Sometimes you tend to be like, this is a new way of doing something, will it really work? I was also a little bit nervous this morning before opening the box because I just realised that, these things probably don't have EU outlet plugs, and I was searching through our flat looking for our little travel plug adapter thingy, but it seems to have gone on vacation somewhere as I can't find it. But I was relieved to see that all of the things from Caydo came with an USB-C to USB-A cable, and I have so many plugs, outlet plugs, what are they called? Anyway, that are USB-A. So I had zero problems plugging them in, and everything worked really well. To tie back to the first point I made, when you're like, will this work? Yes, it did in fact work very well. I am very happy. And yeah, I am really pleased with both getting to sew and finish a project bag today and start on a new cast on. I have been really wanting to cast on a shawl, so this is going to be a lot of fun to knit. I didn't get super far on it today, but hey, it started, and that was the goal. So I want to ask you guys, which one of these tools were the most interesting to you? I honestly love the thread burner, but my favorite, if I have to pick, which is hard, but if I have to pick, I'm gonna have to go with the yarn winder, as it's gonna be such a massive help for my hands. Again, if any of these things look like something for you, you can head on down to the link in the pinned comment down below, and also at the top of the description of this video, to get 30% off of your order with Caydo when you use the code Shaiyeh at checkout. For transparency, and because such are the ad rules where I live, I have to disclose this is an affiliate link, so it will give me a small percentage at no extra cost to you. You just get to enjoy your discounts. Caydo have more than these 3 products, and there is currently also a Valentine's Day sale, so feel free to go ahead and take a look. Thank you so very much to Caydo for partnering with me on this video. But yeah, I think that is about that for these projects. I want to say thank you so very much for watching, and I want to ask you if you could pick one colour for all of your knitting tools, which one would it be? Obviously mine is pink, but what's yours? Just leaving a colourful emoji is fine too. And while you are in the comments, please take a teensy weensy second to like this video if you liked it, since that helps me out a ton. Thank you. And also, if you are new here, hi! Hello and welcome. I am so happy to see you here. If you are new and you would like to keep up with what I post in the future, please consider clicking the subscribe button down below, ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. We post all kinds of fun stuff here on the channel, like knit and crochet challenges, cozy vlogs, project videos, live hangouts, and more. So if this sounds like something for you, feel free to stick around and join our cozy little crafting club. We also have a Discord and memberships open on the channel, so if that sounds fun, you can also find links to that in the description. Alright, that is me talking a very lot, so thank you again so very much for watching and for hanging out with me today while we tried out some fun new knitting and sewing tools. I shall now let you go and enjoy the rest of your day, so stay safe, make stuff you love, and I will see you again very soon in my next video. You take care now. Bye!